security HUD will now actually display the wanted status of each criminal. So if somebody doesn't have any single type of status, there will be no symbol to the top left of their head. But if you go onto a criminal records computer, find the person that you want to put a crime on, say someone's a suspect, there will now be an exclamation point above their head for wanted. It'll be a W. If they're supposed to be detained, it will be like a little jail cell icon. If they are to be paroled, it'll be a P. And if they are just discharged, it is a D. So this lets security keep a visual log of every person that they end up dealing with, whether they're discharged, still wanted, supposed to be in jail, whatever the need may be. Security can now see it in-game with the HUD icon with the security HUD. Syndicate uplinks have been reorganized. There's now additional categories, and the categories are more descriptive of what's in them. Otherwise, though, there's no mechanical change with it. You just click on the tab you need. The Decoy Syndicate bomb has been added to the game for 4 telecrystals. It's under the explosives category. Training bomb carefully made to look just like the real thing and always similar to a Syndicate bomb, but only creates a tiny explosion. So if you purchase it, it is literally the same thing. You can alt-click it to disarm it. It makes the same very loud beeping sound, so it's going to alarm people for sure. And just like a real Syndicate bomb, you can also hack it. You can even defuse it just like a real Syndicate bomb. The explosion does do a little bit of damage, but it's a small explosion and won't rock the ship or anything. A Syndicate backpack has been added to the game. It is a lightweight, explosive-proof backpack for holding various trader goods. If you examine it, it actually does have 90% explosive resistance, meaning that you can store your beakers, your chemicals, whatever you might need inside here, and it will take quite a lot of explosive damage to destroy them. It does have limited space though, so that means if you're nuki, you'll be giving up the extra storage. But remember that backpacks don't slow you down, so it's basically just a 2 telecrystal normal backpack that boasts explosive resistance and is obviously Syndicate, so consider that downside as well. Improvised shotgun shells have been added to the game. You can craft them in your construction menu with quite a lot of stuff. It's 1 steel, 1 plastic, 4 glass shards, and 6 matchsticks. None of the materials are necessarily hard to get, but you have to have a lot of them, and it takes a decent bit of time to craft each individual shell. The improvised shotgun shell does 3 pierce, 3 slash per projectile, and the shell has a lot of spread. And if you point blank somebody with it, actually I missed one of the shells, that's how much spread it has. It would still end up doing 60 damage total, which is split between slash and pierce, which is actually rather strong because that means slash does more bleeding. So it's actually pretty dangerous to get hit by one of these. It can actually be more dangerous to get hit by an improvised shell than a buckshot. You can no longer toss implanters and recyclers. You now have to toss them into space if you want to get rid of them, or hide them really, really well. The biomass reclaimer can now grind up things like plants, whether it be an apple or ambrosia. So you can kind of use a material reclaimer like a grinder. Damage from space now actually does split damage, and now instead of just doing blunt and some cold, it also does heat damage. It doesn't do increased damage, it just is split more evenly now. The detective has once again been returned to security, so they are now a security officer. They're not working under the hop, they're working directly under the head of security, meaning they also cannot be an antagonist. Zombies have received some tweaks and buffs. The biggest buff for sure is wide swinging. Zombies can now wide swing, meaning it's going to be a lot easier for them to actually land their bites. On top of this, the chance of being infected has been increased. A fully naked person has an 80% chance of getting infected per bite, and a fully clothed person has a 50% chance. So at worst, the odds of getting infected is a coin flip. Also, infection only does poison damage now, so it's harder to self-treat. You won't immediately know you're infected because you won't be bleeding infinitely. And you will have to probably go to medical to get some treatment or die and become a zombie. Ion storms can now appear at the beginning of shifts, so round start borgs and stuff may have altered laws. Energy-based weapons that have magazines like the Savon laser pistol will now have an ammo counter at the bottom of the screen like other weapons. The last thing I'll cover this week is the guidebook has new entries for each species. Here you can learn about the difference between each species, so this lets people make more conscious decisions over their species, pick things they like or don't like, and how to actually fight each species, because that is somewhat important as well. I want to thank all of our maintainers and contributors for all their awesome work to the game, and thank you for watching.